Google had just released this really cool feature called Gen AI Evaluation, and I can't emphasize how important this is. So let me give you a quick example. So you built an application, that application needs a model, and obviously there are several different models which you could leverage to run your application. How would you differentiate between models? How would you know one model performs better than the other one? Today, you would have to manually run a series of prompts and see the responses coming out of these models, which is a hectic process. With Gen AI evaluation, you can pick two models at a time and provide a set of prompts. It could be an Excel sheet or it could be streaming from your real-time application, and let the evaluation step run through both the models and provide rubric of what exactly you are expecting from these models to respond, and get responses so that you can compare and contrast, identify which model you really want for your solution, and go from there. Enough of theory, let me show you how it works. You go to the Vertex AI within Google Cloud Console. If you already have an account, you probably will see Gen AI evaluation, either preview or new. Just click on that. I've already run a couple of evaluations, but let me show you how a new evaluation run can happen. I'm going to go ahead and click new evaluation. I have several different options. In this example, I'm going to simply pick a file from my local machine. But ideally, in a realistic scenario, you would have to use this option, which is model log, where you would pick a model, a couple of models. Remember, I did mention you can actually pick two models at a time. In this case, I'm picking a pro model and a sample number of count of prompts that needs to be loaded into for the evaluation step. The way how I am envisioning here is you would have a fine-tuned model being used for your application, and those models will pop up in here, and your application is getting prompts from users. Those prompts are getting logged, and those logs are being exported into this model log so that the evaluation step can happen. This way, your evaluation is not static and it can be dynamic, and you can actually run this as many times as you want as your application changes, as your user personas changes. And this is a really dynamic way of doing these Gen AI evaluation. So let's go back to the upload file section. I'm going to upload a file from my local machine, which is eval prompts, and I'll show you what those prompts are in a bit. In this case, I uploaded a bunch of prompts where there are several SQL injections, suspicious login requests, attack on adversary, injection, malicious command, so on and so forth. I wanted to really see how these models respond if these are the prompts that we are expecting from the user. So these are the prompts that the harmful or the attack agents are dropping into our application. Back to my prompt column. So in this case, I'm going to pick prompts, which is actually picking up from this Excel sheet. And for the comparisons purposes, I'm going to pick two models. The first one is the Flash model, and the second one is the Pro model. I have a list of metrics that I captured, which is the biases and the safety, because I'm trying to capture the malicious prompts that users would drop. Let me blow this up. The safety and security, the explainability, the usability, and the bias and the fairness of these from prompts. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and obviously I need to collect these evaluation metrics into my storage bucket. So I'm going to give a storage bucket path here and just hit the evaluation button here. I already ran this in my previous evaluation step. So I'm going to simply open that and show you what my responses from my previous step are. So as you can see, I've picked Flash and Gemini, and the overall pass rate for Flash is 84%, and for Gemini 2.5 Pro is 97%. And you can actually compare and contrast, and there are several different metrics for each of these prompts. This way you could easily tell which model is ideal for your use case. In my use case, I would definitely go with Gemini 2.0 Pro because I definitely need a model which has higher pass rate, because my requirement is it should actually show me the responses where bad things are easily identifiable. So what's the point of Gen AI evaluations? So you do these evaluations, but what's the value add? How can I use those evaluation metrics into doing something actionable? The core purpose of Gen AI evaluation on Google Cloud Vertex AI is to provide the objective, data-driven assessments of your generative AI models and applications. This helps you to understand how well they perform for your specific use cases beyond general leaderboards or technical reports. So let me explain to you how to make these evaluation metrics much more actionable. Evaluation is really crucial at every stage of your generative AI development lifecycle, from selecting the right foundation model to optimizing prompts and fine tuning. You can define your own evaluation criteria and metrics, ensuring that the assessment directly reflects how well the model aligns with your unique business needs. You can compare different model versions, Google's foundational models, head to head on your own data to establish baselines and identify the best fit for your use case. Another area I'm thinking is tracking diverse metrics, right? Diverse metrics gives you understanding of your model's performance, thereby allowing you to pinpoint areas where you could go back and improve. Evaluation isn't a one-time step, but something you should be doing as a continuous practice to monitor performance, identify drift, and ensure your models remain effective in production. I'll give you an example. If your evaluation shows model A has higher summarization quality for your specific data than model B, you should be choosing model A. In terms of prompt engineering, run evaluations with different prompt variations. If a slight change in your prompt leads to a measurable increase in instruction following or decrease in hallucination, implement that prompt. When it comes to model fine tuning, evaluate your model before and after fine tuning. If the fine tuning model shows significant improvements in relevant metrics like text generation, factuality, or fulfillment for your specific task, it indicates successful fine tuning. Conversely, if your metric degrades, you might need to adjust your fine tuning data approach. Last but not the least, the RAG optimization. Now, test different RAG architectures and different retrieval strategies. If one approach consistently leads to higher groundedness or factuality metrics because it provides more relevant context, adapt that strategy. And finally, agent evaluation. Evaluate not just the final output of an agent, but also its trajectory, meaning the sequence of actions and tool calls. If metrics shows that agent frequently makes incorrect tool choices or follows inefficient paths, you can refine the agent's logic or the prompt and make it run again. By regularly performing GenAI evaluations and analyzing the resulting metrics, you can ensure your generative AI application much more reliable, safe, truly effective. If you find different areas where GenAI evaluations are truly going to help GenAI applications, please drop them in my comments. I would like to go back and check and try to implement in my projects as well.